But Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked for letters from the synagogues to go to Damascus, so that if he found any belonging to the way, men or women, he might bring them bound, handcuffed, to Jerusalem. In Acts chapter 9 tonight, as we continue our series, We Are. And I love how it jumps straight in to chapter 9. I feel like it was appropriate for me to jump straight in as well. And Saul, this is the same guy who later becomes Paul, but right now he's Saul. He's breathing threats against those that believe in Jesus Christ. Interesting thought as I read in Acts chapter 9, that first verse, I always thought that, I pictured it like he was breathing out these threats, as if in the very breath that he's breathing, the words that he's saying is threatening the people that are around him. And it could have been. It might have been that way. But breathing has inhaling and exhaling. And so I was reading it this week and studying it, and I wanted to put it in a new light for myself. And so this week when I read it, I thought of it as he was breathing threats, as in he was breathing in the threats. And let me say what I mean by that. You see, at this time, Saul, and I know I'm jumping in quick here, we're going to catch up. At this time, Saul, this character that we find in chapter 9, who we've seen so far one other time in chapter 8, what he's surrounded around, the influence that's around him, says that Christianity is wrong. So what he has been trained, how he has grown up, his thought process, everything has breathed into him that those that are following Jesus Christ and giving their life to him are doing the wrong thing. And he must stop them in order to preserve what they at this time would call the church. The synagogue. The high priest. You know, sometimes what I'm around can have a major impact on what comes out of me. Maybe I'm the only one doing this. Like that. I don't mind. I can preach to myself tonight because I came with something that I needed to hear anyways. And what was around him were people saying Christianity is wrong. And so he breathed it in, and so he breathed it out. But here's the thing. Everything around you is trying, it's just better that you know this, everything around you is trying to capture you. It wants you to breathe it in so that you breathe it out. Media, social media. Is there another kind of media? The shows you watch, the friends you hang out with. You ever been around anyone that they are constantly in crisis mode? Oh my gosh, we have a major crisis! I forgot! There's a case of water in the car! And I'm like, so I should go get it. And just bring it in and then there's no more crisis. That's right! Hurry! Alright. But it's like their crisis, until you realize they're just always in crisis, then you're like, oh, you just take everything too seriously. But their crisis becomes your crisis. You begin to feel it. Oh man, we're in panic mode. What are we going to do? You know what? Because you're around, you're surrounded by it. And here's what I come to tell you tonight is, although it may try to have impact in your life, and though it sometimes what is around us may overcome us and have impact in our life, nothing can overcome the fact that we are chosen by God. Nothing can overcome that. And so maybe in the moment, someone who's too hyped about some case of water that left in the car, whatever it may be, in the moment, how I grew up thinking, what I grew up and I was taught, my old ways, in the moment they may sometimes seem like they're winning. But I'm a child of God. I'm chosen by God. And no one can stop that and no one can take me from him. And that's my title tonight. We are chosen. So if you're taking notes, if you're like Ashton over here, and you got your new notebook, you got your new journal. Hold it up, Ashton. He's like, I got my new journal. He said, I'm excited. I'm gonna break it in tonight. I'm gonna take notes in it. So if you need to find, if you don't have a new journal and you want, you can go talk to Ashton. He's got the hookup. He'll tear out a page for you. He'll tell you where he got it. What I love is that in Romans 5, chapter 8, maybe you've read this before, maybe you haven't. I love how it lays it out because it says, God shows His love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And this is a powerful truth that Saul, in this text in chapter 9, where we're about to get, this is the powerful truth that Paul is about to realize. Is that while I am a sinner, and in my sin, and making the wrong choice, Jesus dies for me. He doesn't wait for me to get it together. He doesn't wait for me to get all the sins lined up and kicked out the door. He doesn't wait for me to be all church ready and good to go. While I hate God, God chooses me and dies for me. And I believe that's going to be a powerful message for me and at least one other person that's here tonight.
Amen.
If you want to write this verse down or turn there, I was just reading in Romans chapter 5, 8. We're going to go back to Acts chapter 9 in a minute. I'll put this other verse in Romans chapter 8, verse 38. It says, "For I am sure that neither death nor life, nor angels nor rulers, nor things present, nor to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in creation will be able to separate us from the love in Christ Jesus our Lord." So tonight, you can write down point number 1 underneath your title and whatever other scribbles you have written down so far. The stick figure with the guy with the beard that you drunk. Someone came to me and said, while you were preaching, I drew this for you. I didn't know whether to be flattered or offended. I just said, thank you. You can write down, chosen despite choices. Chosen despite choices. You can have chosen to smoke right before you come in. You could have chosen to shut up before you came. You could have chosen to watch pornography in the car in the parking lot before you walked in the doors. You could have chosen to have an argument with your girlfriend or your wife or your friend. You could have chosen so far not to be a good dad. You could have chosen so far to neglect your kids. You could have chosen so far not to invest in your marriage the way you should have. You could have chosen, do I need to keep going? Right? I can keep going. But you are chosen despite your choice. Neither life, neither creation, height, depth, nothing can separate us from God's love. Oh, but there are some lies out there. And there are some voices out there that will tell you contrary. Oh no, you've gone too far. The lies will begin to whisper into your ears. You pushed the envelope too far. This can't be repaired. Oh, God will never take you back after you've done this. You're too weak. You're not good enough. Am I the only one that hears these voices? I hear them often. These are lies from the enemy. And I'm faced with a choice, and sometimes I make the right choice, and sometimes I make the wrong choice, and regardless, I'm chosen. But regardless, I have to know lies are lies and truth is truth. And so when I feel like, oh man, I am messing it up so bad right now that there's no way I can get back into God's will in my life, I can go to Romans chapter 8 and I can read this and say, now I am sure that neither death nor life nor angels nor demons nor things on this earth nor things above nor height nor depth, nothing can separate me from God's plan and what He's trying to do in my life. May look like I messed it up. May look like I have a setback. But God's turning it around in my life. Choices are hard. Making the right choice is hard. I remember one time, my wife and I were going to see a movie. It's hard enough to pick which movie to go see, first of all. Speaking of choices. Where you're going to go eat, you hop in the car, you decide you're going to go to dinner, you get in the car, like, what do you want? I don't know, what do you want? You don't want to say what you want because you're afraid it's not what she wants, and then you'll pick what you want, and then she'll be like, oh, fine, I'll go there. But then she goes, and then she's grumpy she's there. But then if you say what she wants, then she says yes. If you say a place that like you know she would want, but you don't really want it, like, and then you end up going, like, well, I'm miserable because I knew if I said this place, she would say yes. It's so hard to figure out where you're going to go eat. So we said, we're not going to eat, we're going to go see a movie because we can decide on that. We made a new rule. You don't get in the car to go eat unless you've decided where you're going to go eat. Everyone, implement this rule. This is marriage changing. Non-married people, implement this. Put this in your vows. So we decided to go see a movie. You got the choice there. Hard enough. Which movie to see? You know, then you have the choice of which snacks are you going to bring and which snacks are you going to buy. And you have to make this choice in advance. This is not a choice you make once you walk in because then you haven't brought what you need to sneak into the movies. And by the way, this is the only time. Going to the movies is the only time you can break the law and the rules. You cannot do this any other time. If you go to an apartment store and the apartment store says no drinks allowed, you must leave your drinks outside. Right? If you go into a place that there's no smoking, you must not smoke. Right? You go into a place and it says, okay, you can't bring your gun even though you have a concealed handgun license. No guns. If you go to a place, right? But the movies says don't bring any outside food or drinks. They don't mean that. They know they're trying to deter it and limit it. What they mean is only bring in the stuff you need to bring in. Don't bring any extra. And if you buy something, if you buy just one thing, you can bring as much stuff as you want in. Okay, as long as we don't see it. That's how the sign should read. And it's how I read the sign. Okay? So, my wife and I, we decided to go see a movie. And for some reason, she got nominated to, let's just use the word sneak. We don't really mean that, but she got nominated to sneak in the waters that we needed to bring in. We were going to buy the popcorn because it's yummy, but we didn't want to spend $700. We were like, let's see, we pay our mortgage or we buy some waters for the movies. So we just brought the ones we had from home, of course, just like you do. You know you do. You know you get ready for movies, you're like, girl, get the big purse. Put your panties in it. I'm not judging. This is the only and right time to do that. And so there we are. Oh, I have chosen that she will carry the waters, and she has agreed and chosen that she will carry the waters, and she has them in the inner jacket pockets of a jacket she's holding. Yeah, it was hot outside. We're like, what are we going to do? We're like, what is this jacket? So she's holding it, and I don't know, maybe she's holding some other things too, and we get up to the place where the 17-year-old boy is going to take our tickets, right? Who is 17, he has no authority over me. He doesn't pay my bills or my paychecks. He can make up any rules he wants, it doesn't matter. All he does is he tears the tickets and says, 3, 9, whatever the theater is. And we get there, and it's at that moment that the manager just happens to come up and be having a conversation. And it's at that moment that I was like, baby, you have the tickets. And it was at that moment that she began to get the tickets out that the jacket falls to the floor and these two waters fall to the ground. And so I just go, where did those go? Oh, I'm telling you, we did not know those were in there. I don't know how, babe. And so they said normal stuff like, oh, they were so nice. Oh, we're sorry, I don't know if you saw the 19 signs that were between here and the front door, the parking lot, and this moment. But you can't bring outside food or drinks in. And I was like, oh, silly us. We don't go to the movies that often, we just forgot. Well, they said, well, you can either drink it now, or you can just throw it away. So we tried to drink it. Get as much water as we could down. And we went to a movie, that was while back. We went to a movie a few days ago. We did the same thing. We learned no lessons. Choices. This is the choice you have. You can bring in your own drinks. You can pay the money for the drinks. You have choices. You can pick where you want to eat. You have a choice. You chose to come to church tonight, and some people chose not to come to church tonight, and they have a choice. And whether you're sneaking drinks into the movie theaters, or whether you're not, you're chosen. Whether you're late on rent, or whether you're not, you're chosen. Whether you wasted the money, and you're still late on rent, you know, I made stupid choices, and that's why I don't have the money for what I need right now, you're chosen. Yeah. You're still chosen. Paul, let's jump into the story here of Paul just for a minute. And by standards of the synagogue, he was a good church-going guy. But in this moment, he was faced with a choice. And let me catch you up to speed on what's happening in Paul's life. We read verse 1. He's breathing threats. He's out to kill Christians. He goes to the leaders. He says, I need documentation that tells me I can go and I can handcuff and arrest these people that are following Jesus. I can bring them back. We can throw them in jail. We can have the right kind of ruling for them, and hopefully then they can die or go to jail for a while, or we can torture them or something like that. So he's going to do that. He's headed into Damascus, right? He's going from Jerusalem to Damascus. And as he's on his way, he has a crew with him that's riding with him. Maybe a mob crew, who knows what it is, you know. Maybe some tough guys. Maybe Paul was a tough guy. I don't know. I never met him. But he's riding there. And as he's going there, it says a bright light shines on him and around him in such a way that it knocks him to the ground and that it makes him go blind. And he responds to this bright light by saying, "Who are you, Lord? You must be powerful. Who are you?" The bright light, this is Jesus, right, is shining upon him and saying, "Why are you persecuting me, Paul? This is me." And it says, here's what you need to do. You need to go into the city, and you need to wait there. I'm sending someone to you. You need to go into the city and wait. And so you have Paul, who has had at this point no real encounter with Jesus. This is the first encounter. We've all had a first encounter, or will have a first encounter. And so you have Paul, and he's going along, and this is his first encounter. And you ever had God put something on your heart, like tell you to do something, and you did the wrong thing? Like he was like, you need to turn this car around, you need to go back into that store, and you need to give that person that's there, that was doing the bags, you need to give them $5 and tell them that you love them. And you felt it so strong, you knew you should do it, you just kept doing the wrong thing. I've been there. And so he has a choice in this moment, and I think we downplay the choice, because this is weird. Just go into the city, and then just wait until somebody comes. And while that's happening, so Paul does what he's supposed to do, makes the right choice, goes into the city, and for 3 days, this is the Cliff Note version of chapter 9, so far up to verse 15. And for 3 days, he's blind and he eats nothing. See, he was on the religious side with the rulers and the synagogues and the priests, and so he understood the concept of fasting, and so that was just probably what he knew and what he thought seemed right, and so he just went for that. Also, after like gone, had a light-to-face encounter with God. And so he's there, and while that's happening, God gives a man, Ananias, a vision. And in this vision, he says, you need to go and you need to see Paul, right? Still Saul, name's not changed yet. You need to go see Saul. You need to lay your hands on him. And Ananias is like, but God, the town he's in that town to arrest and kill people like me. I'm not going to do that. It's a choice. And I always thought, what if Ananias wouldn't have went? He goes. Spoiler, he goes. what if he wouldn't have went? And when Ananias he's questioning, and he's like, okay, I don't think I'm going to go. God says this to him in verse 15. He says, but the Lord said to him, go, for he, talking about Saul, for he is a chosen instrument of mine, to carry my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. You need to go because the guy you're going to is chosen by me to carry my name. And tonight, some of us need to embrace that we are chosen to carry Jesus. So if you're taking notes, you're putting it down, that may be a good thing to put down. Hint number 2, point number 2, chosen to carry Jesus. I'm going to break that down for us. Because I think sometimes I personally wrestle with this idea, am I chosen by God, by not knowing what my purpose is. This graduation season is coming up. I'm excited for the seniors that are graduating, going to college, looking forward to the next chapters of life. This is a fun time, like maybe a time of growth, and God can do so much right there in that 18 plus years old, and how He can mold people and where they go is so important. I'm just looking forward to the ones that we have here that are graduating and go to school. And in a few weeks, we're going to recognize them in prayer with them. I'm excited about that. And in that season of life, if not even into your 30s, 40s, well, I haven't got further than that yet, into your late 20s, if not even beyond that, you're wondering, like, what is my purpose? Like, what am I here for? And it's the days you wake up with purpose that you're, like, ready to go. The days you wake up and nothing's on your calendar, and it's, like, empty, and you're just like, well, I don't really know what I'm going to do. Like, that's the days you look back on and you're like, pretty much did nothing. Woo! But the days you woke up and you're like, okay, I got this, and I'm going here, like, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to read, and those are the days you find great purpose in it. And I think for some of us, we just need to know, here's the thing, you were chosen to carry Jesus to people that no one else was going to carry Jesus to. And it's Paul who it says in here, at this time Saul, and it's Saul who is in here at this time, and he's chosen to carry the name of Jesus to people that are nothing like him. To the Gentiles. To people that didn't grow up with his background. People that do not come to his family dinners. People that he's not associated with. People that even at this time aren't even really receiving Jesus, because up until this point it's barely even for them. They haven't even really heard the message. And then, did y'all miss that it said kings? He's chosen to carry Jesus to kings. And sometimes what we do is, we know we're chosen by God, but we don't think we're chosen for that. Yeah. It's like, oh no, that seems like something that like somebody really important would do, and I could message them or I could walk up and talk with them, but like they're cooler than me and smarter than me and taller than me. How could I do that? And what we do is we limit this capacity that we have. It's like, oh, I'm down to carry Jesus, and like the people who are around me, like I'm just not going to go out of my way to do it. So sometimes you got to go out of your way. Like if you know that your job is to carry Jesus, and today you will interact with people that nobody else may interact with. You may get an opportunity that nobody else may get to be loved. How about this? To be Jesus to somebody. In Colossians chapter 3, starting in verse 12, it says, put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, put on compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, patience. That's just the first verse. Y'all been carrying this around today? This is what you've been carrying around? I wonder what you didn't carry through the doors. I wonder what you will carry out. I wonder what you're carrying to work tomorrow. And when it says, here's the thing, you're meant to carry Jesus, these are the characteristics of Jesus. So when you go to school, when you go to work, it's kindness, it's humility, it's meekness, it's patience, it's compassion. What are you carrying? You know, sometimes my wife will get the groceries, and a lot of times on Mondays we go and get groceries, and sometimes I'll go, sometimes I won't, but she does this thing. It's kind of a new thing, you know. I'm gonna write her out here. She does a new thing where like she makes sure that I'm gonna help carry the groceries in, which I'm down with. I'm down to help carry the groceries in. But like if I didn't go with her, she will pull up and she'll park in the driveway, and she will not get out of her car, and she'll just call me and be like, "Hey, I'm out here." And the first time I was like, "I don't know what you're saying." I'm like, "Oh, the groceries." And she wants me to go and carry the groceries with her. But here's the thing, we carry the groceries in different ways. She carries the groceries, like some of you do, where it's like as many groceries as you can carry at one time. Like load them up. She will put her arms out, I'll just put all the bags on there, all the bags. And I carry the groceries, and if I was by myself, I'd carry them the same way. I carry the groceries like 2, maybe 3 things at a time. I just don't really mind making mini trips. I think it takes more time to put on all the things than it does just to grab 3 things, just walk them right inside, set them down, and then just go do it again. Because my legs, I just boom, boom, no problem, you know? But here's what I know, regardless of how you carry your groceries and how you deliver them from trunk to kitchen, everybody has a capacity. And if she puts all the groceries on her arms, that's all she can carry. And so if you came in tonight and what you were carrying was hurt and anger and frustration and bitterness, there may not be any space for you to carry anything else. And so we can deliver it tonight, we can sing about it tonight, but your arms are full of all this other stuff. And at some point, you have to set it down so that you can pick up compassion and kindness and humility. And in verse 13, bearing with one another. If one has a complaint, it says, forgiving one another. And above all, in verse 14, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. We talk about unity a lot. And let peace, the peace of Christ, rule in your hearts. How many would say this week, okay, what was ruling in my heart was the peace of Christ? That's hard. But it's what we're chosen to carry. Yeah. And sometimes we think because it seems difficult, we must not be chosen to do this. But I say, let's measure it the opposite way. And let's say, if it seems difficult, we must be chosen to carry it. Because I'm too good to carry something that's light. That anybody can carry. If anybody can carry it, I don't want it. I want to carry something heavy. So when we go to the groceries, right? Don't give me the eggs. Don't give me the bread. Give me the dog food, right? The heavy one. Give me the case of water. Go ahead and put 2 cases on there because I'm the one that carries the heavy stuff. Because she can't carry it, I'm the one that carries it, right? I mean, she can't shoot. But I don't want to carry something light. I want to know what I'm doing is having impact. And so some of us, here's the thing, you're chosen, you know you're chosen to carry Jesus, you know you're chosen to carry Jesus, you just need to stop complaining and start choosing to carry. You're chosen for challenges. You're chosen for challenges. And yes, it is God that will give us strength. And yes, it is Him that when we think we can do no more, that He'll give us the ability just to do a little more. And when we think my tank has run out, I cannot love people anymore. I have gone over from loving people to tolerating, from loving people to just being around people. I don't got anything else to give. And when I'm talking about people, I'm talking about kids or family, whoever it is that's around you. Yeah, He'll give you what you need. But you have to know that what's challenging is oftentimes exactly where you're supposed to be. I was talking with someone earlier, said, hey, you need to pray. Pray for me. Got some job change going on. Quit my job, trying to find a new job. I thought, this sounds challenging. You must be chosen. Talking to people on the phone this week, sharing prayer requests. I love praying with them and praying for them. And sometimes the prayer request was hard. But sometimes I heard the prayer request and I thought, no, man, this is where you're supposed to be right now. Yes, it's hard. And yes, I'm going to pray for you. And yes, I want it to be over. But mostly, I want God to have His way with this situation. Because He's working something out in you that cannot be done. That it can be hard and it can take a week, or it can be easy and it can take 10 years. Which one do you want? Chosen to carry. And what you're chosen to carry truly does have the capacity to change what's around you. Because it's Jesus. It's not just love or peace or grace or forgiveness. It's Jesus, right? Those are the characteristics of God. That nobody can really carry those around or have those. But maybe just for a fleeting moment. No one can really have those without Jesus. In 2 Chronicles 16:9, he's saying that the eyes of the Lord are moving to and fro the earth, looking all along, and they're looking for one person. Might there be just one righteous person that says, me, Lord, look right here. And He's saying, I see you. I see you. So tonight, I want you to know someone came tonight to hear God sees you. What you're carrying, He sees it. What's difficult right now, He sees that. The season you're in, He sees that. And He chooses you. He chooses you. Nobody else to reach the people that you're around. He chooses you. He doesn't choose me to do what He's called you to do. He chooses you.